Hi, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to just quickly go over the deadlift, how to create intra-abdominal pressure so that you can really safely lift things with load and apply the technique that you've learned from positioning, how to sort of make sure that you don't buckle when you do it. So I've got Nathan here who's just going to demonstrate when we first meet someone, how we teach them the bending action. So he's going to get into a couple of reps for me where he's just touching the handle. So we don't actually want him to lift it yet. We just teaching him the hip mechanics, so how he can get in and out of the posture. And so when he's at the bottom there, he has a good understanding of keeping his neck in neutral and his spine in neutral. He's really using his hips. Once I'm at that point where he's sort of learning that, I might get him to pick this up. Now this kettlebell is 16 kilos, so it's a decent load, but it's not massive. You know, most people would not struggle with this. And we might even start with an 8 kilo just to get the hang of them picking it up, putting it down. The risk is very minimal here. However, once we start to venture up into the load, he really needs to understand how to use his breath to create the pressure and also how to create the grip strength. So with the kettlebell, it's not as easy to do so we're going to move to a barbell, and I've got Dylan over here. So let's imagine that Dylan has spent time doing the deadlift that Nathan was just doing. We're happy with his technique, his positioning is excellent. Now we need him to learn how to create pressure. Now, we wouldn't start straight away with a big load, but I would have something on there to make him feel that he has to actually create the pressure that he needs. Now, when he bends down to grab the bar, so firstly he's in good position, so we've already been over the techniques of it all. Before he goes to lift it, I really need him to grip this bar really strong. He has to have a really strong grip, like he's trying to bend the steel of the bar. With his breath, he would use the breath in to set up here, and there's little pause of the breath. So it's like a little brief pause where he's going to hold his breath, not for too long, just a brief pause, because this is the sticking point. This is where his back would buckle if he doesn't do that. So we'll let him pick one up. So you grip the bar strong and he'll come up. All right, and then you'll slide his hips back and get into position. Now, when he grips that bar strong, he really needs to grab here with these lats. These are his lats if anyone does lat pull down or chin-ups. Really needs to grip this. This really grips the ribcage and holds it really strong. With his belly to hold that stiff, he has to imagine that I'm going to punch him in the guts. All right, so that feeling of being punched in the stomach, how would you keep it? What would you do if you couldn't protect yourself? And that's the feeling he needs to have through here for the upper part and for here for the lower part. Then the legs are the part that pushes the bar up. So he pushes the bar up, holds all the rest of it stiff and tight, and then he comes back down. The breath cycle on when he comes up, so if he's holding his breath here when he comes up, so up he comes, he'd have like a little breath out, and then he might reset with a small breath on the way down to create his pressure so the punch is coming right there. All right, because it's always at that point where he's just up from about this angle, that's where the spine is about to buckle. All right, so come up without the bar, just pretend. So it's about, so when you go down again, about there, that's the point where he's going to, we would see people, do that. All right, so he really needs to learn how to use his breath to create the pressure so that doesn't happen. All these things here are powerful, the grip, powerful in the breath. All right, so that's how you use your breath cycle in the deadlift and the bending actions to protect your back, and you become really strong. And it's a risky exercise as a safe one. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video. See you on the next one.